Hotty toddy, Ole Miss fans, and welcome to the Brad and Chad Show on the OM Network. Brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans, made in the USA. This is the show by and for Ole Miss fans, where you'll get expert insight and analysis on Ole Miss athletics. And now, here are your hosts, former Rebels Chad Flowers and retired NFL star Bradley Sowell.
Podcast time.
Brad and Chad Show, November 13th, 2022, in the wake of the Alabama game. Brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans right here in the Blue Delta Jeans shop right here in Oxford, Mississippi. Bradley Sowell joining me. Bradley, how are we, man?
Oh, falling out.
Man, it was cold yesterday.
It was cold yesterday, man. What a day. Damn.
I know.
Damn.
I know. That was a game where you're going to look back and say, Jesus, we should have had that game.
Yeah, man. Played so well the first three quarters. We really had control of the game minus a few issues we were having.
We were healthy.
Man, it just, that's one of those games you're going to wish you had back. We outplayed Alabama.
We did.
You agree?
We did, 100%.
I thought we outplayed. You look at the stats. The stats say as such. If you would have told me we were going to go into a game and hold Alabama to 3 yards of carry, I thought they were going to have 8 yards of carry.
Yeah, I was prepared for us to win. I thought we had to have a shootout.
Yep.
Hats off to our defense. They played their ass off, and they were the reason we were in that game all the way through.
I thought all in all a great plan.
Yeah,
I thought they, did we have 3 down? Yeah, but we had a lot of guys closer to the line.
We get more penetration.
Yeah, we were bringing guys. It was. I thought the defense showed up.
Yes.
The defense showed up. The offense, was spotty. And then that killed us. And like I said earlier in the week, in order to beat Alabama, you have to steal some possessions. And we did that early.
We did.
But then what the hell did we do? We turn around and we fumble the ball up 17-7, basically on their side of the field. That's the kind of stuff that you cannot do. And like I said, if the turnover margin is even, they are going to beat us off talent.
Yep.
We have to beat them in the turnover margin. We have to beat them on third down. We beat them on third down. We beat their ass on third down. We were 50%. They were much less than us. But the turnover battle, we gave that one back. And I'm telling you that to me changed the outlook of the game. They're getting the ball coming out at half. Got to take care of that ball. Even if you go in 17-7, no, even if you don't score,
it's a much different field.
You cannot give them that. That was brutal.
What was your thought? So there was a lot of criticism to Lane for opening drive. Rebels, once again, the opening script is always money for the Rebels. It feels like they were moving the ball down the field with ease against Alabama. It's still Alabama.
Yep.
But the decision to go for it on fourth down instead of kicking the field goal, hindsight being 2020, it's an easy decision. You kick the field goal. But if I were to tell you that, hey, do you think we're going to hold Alabama to 3 yards rushing? You're like, no. So that means we have to go for it. We have to roll sevens, as you put it.
Yep.
We have to roll sevens in those situations. And it's not like Lane veered from who he is. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And you have to embrace it at this point because you're going to have situations like that.
Well, I think I'm over that argument. When he first got here, that was the thing. He doesn't kick. He doesn't kick the field goal. He takes the points. That's just what he does. And as long as he's consistently doing that, you just got to live with it, right? Because there's been a lot of fourth downs that we've gotten that have extended games and helped us out. So that's just what he does. Do I think he should kick points versus Alabama? Probably.
Sure.
So, but that's and I'm with him though too. On the flip side, roll sevens. You got to score touchdowns to be Alabama. Yep. You can't turn the ball over. You got to score touchdowns. There was multiple times we drove down there and didn't get a whole lot out of it that we should have. So
the defense had not given us a chance to think that we're going to hold Alabama to field goals, right?
Yep.
So you have to roll those dice in a game like that where you don't have at least up until this season, up until this game, the dominant defense that is going to shut down a former Heisman winner in Bryce Young, right?
Yeah, defense is good. I actually loved our plan yesterday.
Yes.
With a couple times we had the corner cat that sacked him. A couple times we had a few rap dog blitzes that were. We got after him decent. We hit him well enough to win that game. We made him overthrow a few receivers. We did well versus Bryce Young. He had like 200 yards passing. It felt like he had 500.
It did, because he made every big throw he had to. Yep. That was the difference in the game. Is we weren't able to make the big play late. He made every throw that he had to. Right.
Yeah. I mean, like you said earlier in the week, hey, the difference. You thought Jackson Dart was going to have to play exceptional to win. Jackson did fine.
Yes, he did fine.
But I felt like with his legs, he could have tucked it earlier a lot more.
And he got lucky on some throws. He threw into some tight windows, and the ball got deflected, and they could have easily been interception. So, growing pains, we have to expect those. But yeah, the Heisman winner made the plays, and Lane could not have been more, praising Bryce Young, because there were times where I felt like our secondary did not give him any openings to make a throw, but there was one play that did a pirouette around multiple defenders. He was Houdini back there.
Yeah.
He was as good as advertised. He made the plays.
He was, and I would say this, our D line was whooping their O-line's ass a lot of times during the game.
We got penetration, we got pressure, which is something that we hadn't seen. So once again, if anybody's criticizing the defense, the tackling it reared its ugly head in the second half. But like I said, if you would have told me that we're going to hold them to 30 points, I'm like, okay, with their offense, we got a chance.
317 yards.
Yeah.
317 yards, and we outgained them by 80, 90 yards. We beat them. We had more first downs than them. We had a better third down ratio.
They didn't have a 100-yard rusher.
Yeah, that's
like I said, you could not have convinced me that was going to happen doing our midweek preview. We rightfully were critical of the defense coming into this game, but they answered the bell and they came out ready to play. It was a weird environment. You and I were sitting in the stands. It was a weird environment it kind of had the feeling before the game that everybody was going to a funeral. That's what you said. It just kind of felt like everybody was ready for death, because it is Alabama. They are the literal elephant in the room. But once that fourth down happened, where we stopped Bryce Young, they had the illegal shift and it declined anyway. We went nuts, dude. The energy in the stadium was bananas when that happened. We got video of me acting like a complete ass, just cheering my ass off during that moment. We'll put it up on our socials. But, dude, that's when the crowd started believing.
I think so too, man. I mean, you could feel it.
Alabama was sleepwalking in that first half. I don't think there was. There's the audio of me just acting like a fraternity kid, just hammered off my ass, just screaming in the stands there. But man, you couldn't help but get into it, because our prediction was, hey, Rebels are going to lose by 10. Yep. They lost, but man, that game was such a winnable game. Lane said in his press conference that this is one that he was telling the players, this is one that y'all are always going to look back on saying what if, because that was a game that we should have won.
They were so close to letting go of the rope yesterday.
Absolutely.
We started getting after them a little bit. We're up 17-7. We get the ball back. We let them back. I'm telling you, we had them on the ropes a little bit, and you can sense it on their sideline. Like they're used to playing for national titles and stuff. They're now they got 2 SEC losses. LSU's pretty much got the West over them. They were a little bit lull and sleepy. We started hitting them in the mouth, and for whatever reason, man, and I think a lot of this goes back to our youth, where we're at, right? Mm-hmm. Our best players are freshmen.
Yep.
When they're older, we're going to finish these games and finish them handily, right? But when you get in these games, you get Alabama. If you'd have told me, hey, we're going into the fourth quarter, we're going to drive to win the game, or it's tied up 24-24 it's Alabama, you're taking it, right?
Everybody's signing up for it.
You're like, hey, give me a shot.
You're a liar if you wouldn't.
And I feel like our youth kind of showed up, kind of got, I don't know what was going with the play calling there in the third, fourth quarter. It seemed kind of odd. We have a lost yardage play that we just turn around and run it right up the middle on 2nd and 15. It's almost like we were playing not to lose instead of playing to win at times. And man, I don't know. There was just a little stretch in there where Ole Miss didn't play well, and the play call wasn't overly exciting either. Something with the pass game. I don't know what's going on with the pass game. I mean, there's it's just not there. You have some little miscommunication in there. The passing game had to be a little bit better yesterday, and it just wasn't.
One thing that Lane said in his press conference that caused some issues in the first half, they were only sending one rusher.
Yeah.
And they were able to kind of tell which side they were coming from and prepare for it. In the second half, they kind of pinned their ears back and started sending 2. And the offensive line struggled with that. You're talking, Will Anderson, some of the best defensive players in the country. And that was what was going on. But like you said, the passing game was a little spotty in that second half.
Well, what they were doing, man, if you look at what Alabama was doing, they're playing a base style defense. A lot of times they just played too high. and you have to be able to run the ball. And Alabama was good enough to, good enough to stop our run without having to bring a ton of guys. And that's a tough situation. I've been in that situation with Russell Wilson before in Seattle where, we just couldn't run the ball versus a 4 or 5 man front or 6 man box. And they got 2 safeties back there and they're zoning you out or playing man with 2 safeties over top. There's just nothing there. Right. So that yesterday, I wish we could have gotten the run game was there, but it was still spotty as well. Yeah, right. It was. And we still rushed for almost 200 yards versus Alabama, which is damn good. But one of my biggest, if you look at one of the biggest examples in the game, you got that when after Judkins made those 2 runs, late in the game, which I'm freaking out, dude. I mean, I flex so hard, I popped a blood vessel in my damn head. So I think we go back to it right there, right? Like keep pounding that middle, keep trying to bust the rock on the run game because there's just nothing there in the pass game, and they're zoning you out. You have 2 high safeties. That miscommunication to Malik Heath, he sort of looked like some kind of back shoulder fakes. They've been picking on number 3, which I'm fine with that.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm fine with that, but you can't waste that down and have your guy release it inside and throw the ball to the pylon in a situation like that. I would have rather them ran the same play where Judkins looked like Le'Veon Bell. Go back to it. See what happens there. It put the ball in his hands. That's your best player right there. And that, to me, I feel like there was times yesterday where it was just like, man, what the hell are we trying to do? Dart didn't see. I wish he would have tucked it a little bit earlier, right? I wish there were several plays. But Alabama's just good enough, man. Like their D lineman can chase down our quarterback. And that's the difference in games, game when you're playing a team like Alabama.
When you have them on the ropes, you have to make the knockout blow. Yep. And that's what we were unable to.
Got to roll sevens. And we got down there multiple times and came away with either a field goal or nothing. And you're just not going to, versus Alabama, you're not going to do that.
What do you we keep praising Quentinshon Judkins, and I know it's a loss, but we have to fill some time, talk about something here. So how nice is it from an offensive lineman's perspective to have someone as patient as him? You mentioned Le'Veon Bell, where, you would watch Le'Veon Bell, he would have the hand on the small of the back and just kind of guiding them through the hole there. What does that do for you guys from an offensive lineman's perspective?
Let me tell you something. So here's the cool part about Quentinshon Judkins, right? Like that's the first time we've seen him do that this year, with like the patient run. So now he's just out there having fun, right? Yeah. Now he's out there showing you like, hell, I know ball.
Is the game moving slower when somebody's doing something like that because they're able to?
For him, you can tell, you can see the growth in that. Just seeing that alone told me like, all right, this dude's out there cooking now.
Right.
Like he's cooking now. Like he's able to say, hey, I understand a counter scheme where I got to let both my guys, I can't go hit a counter scheme like I can an inside zone, right? Inside zone, hey, I'm pushing the pocket, boom, 1 step in the ground, I'm going out that backside B block or slip block, whatever you want to call it. Whereas I know counter, hey, I'm better off letting my block set up and then hitting it hard. So, man, that to me was like, all right, this dude's out there just clowning at this point. Like he's out there really clowning. So, yeah, man, just an awesome to see yesterday. The kid's ridiculous. He really is. He to have a freshman, you wanted the ball in his hands and you feel like he was our best shot. And that's crazy to say, we're going against Alabama, trying to beat them, and everybody in the stands relying on your 18-year-old kid to win the game for you. So, hey, we're heading in the right direction in that sense. But man, what a dude.
You mentioned the final drive there and not going to Quentinshon again. One thing that Lane mentioned in the press conference, we talked about the Zach Evans fumble. We'll get more into that a little bit. But one thing that happened that also had a ripple effect for the remainder of the game was Zach Evans got a concussion on that play.
Yeah.
So he was unavailable. And, Lane mentioned that Quentinshon was tired. And that's why they didn't go back to him on that final drive. Yeah. So it was kind of a double whammy on that play with the fumble because it gives Alabama a short field. They end up cashing in on it. But we also don't have that 2-headed monster to wear down their defense. And in fact, we were probably wearing down our guys a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree there. That's that's unfortunate that fumble happened with Evans. And not only that, you're right, he got a freaking concussion, right? So then we lose. Our team is better when Evans is a compliment.
Absolutely.
And that's crazy to think for the season. Everybody's saying Evans, he's this really good guy, and he's a good player. But you need like his athleticism to come in there, catch the ball in the backfield, do a lot of stuff with him, and that hurt us too. You got Judkins, he's having to carry the load. That was an unfortunate play. That was not only was it a momentum killer when he fumbled, it screwed our game plan. It really did a lot to not have him. So that sucked. That was unfortunate.
What's it like in a locker room on something like that? So Rebels are playing better than Alabama. They were the better team in the first half.
They were the better team all day.
Yes, especially, going up until that point, and then you have a fumble like that. What's the message in the locker room when something like that's happened? You've got somebody on the rope. Now they're within 3 as opposed to 13 or more.
Yeah.
What's that message like?
It's unfortunate, but we had earned the right to be up 17-7 there.
Mm-hmm.
We'd outplayed them, and it sucks. But when you're in that kind of game, in the moment, you don't give two shit. You got a mindset's got to be going forward. I'm sure that's what they were thinking as well as a team. Like, hey, we're good. No harm, no foul. We're still winning. You can't feel bad there. It sucks. It definitely sucks. But I think in the moment it didn't really hurt the team, so to speak. And I cannot have that happen though. I mean, but I will say this though, from a fan's perspective and sitting out there, it definitely kind of kills the momentum. Now we were cooking on them a little bit.
Dude, it was so much fun sitting in the stand with you, getting crazy in that first half, freezing our ass off. We had our hot hands. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to have some hot hands. It was cold out there, but man, it was cool to just get to experience, because you see things a little bit differently, right? Considering how long you've been in the game, watching it, you saw different things. It was really cool to see that. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think when you watch the game with me, I ruined it for you a little bit. I'll tell you what plays coming in.
You did a few times.
I know a few times. Like, all right, here we go. I've seen this motion. All right, draw. He's running a draw here. Chad's like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
It's just you can see, because once you see the first 15, you see what both teams want to do. Then after your first 15 plays, it's just a matter of, hey, different formations, running the same play different ways. You don't bring a ton of plays into games, right? Every box on the play sheet has a third down plays. I got probably 4 or 5 plays. My 3rd and 5+ plays. So once you can see the first 15, you can see their game plan. You can see what they're going to try to do. They're just going to try to mix the formations, and they're going to try to do those 15 plays or certain concepts in multiple different ways. So you can see, hey, okay, this one's coming from the other side now. This is all. So that's how I see ball when I watch it. I probably ruin it for a lot of people.
No, I enjoy it. Like I said, it was a cool experience because, someone that has been around the game as long and as in depth, it was cool to watch. And, we got to hang out in the Grove beforehand. I'm telling you, Todd Wade, former Rebel Todd Wade, NFL, he is a master with the smoke machine.
Yeah.
He knows how to get the smoke machine going. We were trying to watch the LSU Arkansas game, and every 5 minutes or so, somebody would hit that smoke machine. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just wait. I don't know what's going on with this game. Hopefully LSU is losing.
Todd Wade's smoke. So he has a smoke machine in our Grove. It is so thick.
Oh my gosh.
You will not be to see each other standing in front. It is unbelievable how thick Todd keeps the smoke in there. So.
We had the disco ball going. We had the speakers going. We were those bad neighbors that everybody's like, yeah, it's that one.
That's so, man, it would have been nice to go out after a win and enjoy that a little more. But we were getting the hell out of there, man. That one sucked.
It did. Now the Rebels have to go to Arkansas, which, we won there in 2018, but at least the way I've always felt is that's not a place that we always play well. And when you look at it, I don't know if Arkansas, because Arkansas, if you weren't paying attention, Arkansas lost to LSU. LSU won the SEC West with their win and our loss. So now we're going with, we know we're not going to Atlanta, but we still have some opportunities for the season, right? We're still, we're 8-2. We still have a 10-win season on the horizon.
Let's pause right there. Think about where we are as a program.
You're right.
We're 8-2 now, and this alludes to what Lane said yesterday, right? And I agree with him, right? Like this Ole Miss, like, hey, you did good.
Happy to be here.
It's got to go. The shit's got to go. Like I'm with Lane, dude. Championship or bust every year.
Yep.
And that's if we want to be a big time program, that's where we got to get. But we are sitting here at 8-2. And we're like, I feel sick. I know. Like the season's over in my mind.
Yep.
To me, it's, I want to be a championship program.
Yes, 100%.
And we're 8-2, probably going to win. We have a chance to win these next 2 games, go 10-2, which will match our best season in history from a year before. And I'm disappointed.
That speaks highly as to where
and that tells you where we are. And I think every other Rebel fan can kind of agree with me as well. It's a sick feeling today.
It is.
I want to play for the West.
Yeah, I'm not playing for participation trophies.
And I'm with Lane there. As long as Lane's here, and I think he should keep putting that mindset on our program. And we are young. And I'll give us our excuse. Our excuse is this: hey, we're young, and our core players are freshmen. Expecting to go to Atlanta this year is a little bit asinine, but that's where we are as a program. Mm-hmm. That's what we expect, and we're 8-2, and I'm disappointed. If we were 8-2 at any other time in my Ole Miss fandom, I would be so excited to be crazy. I'd be looking in Florida, we're going to sit whatever ball. but the standard is different now, right? Like we this old Ole Miss stuff is like Ole Miss needs to find a way. We have a championship caliber coach.
Yep.
He's bringing in championship caliber players. The expectation needs to be there. 8-4, 9-3. That should no longer be acceptable.
Yeah.
At Ole Miss. You should not be happy with that.
I agree 100%. And like you said it perfectly, I do feel sick because we had, at least for the last 15 years, they've been the standard, Alabama. And we had a chance to beat them again. Should have beat them. Yep. We outplayed Alabama. We outcoached Alabama. But they made the plays.
We're so close, man.
We are.
Here's what's great about it. You look at our roster, we have 1 5-star probably. It's Zach Evans. Mm-hmm. So it brings us to my next point. This NIL stuff is about to make stuff really even. When you actually have to coach the talent and you can't just beat everybody based on this is going to get interesting, man.
It is. Because, we were talking to somebody about how the new transfer portal really works in Lane's favor because it is kind of like NFL free agency, right? You get to look at your roster. I need this, this, and this. Who's out there in the portal? Let me go get them, right? You're not having to cast as wide of the net. You're still going after recruits, right? You're still going after high school seniors because there's still tons of value there. But now you also have a system in place where he's got that NFL mindset where let me just go get what I need that can compete now. So you get a little bit more seasoned players that can step in and help quicker. Yeah, they have to learn your system, but the college game is not as much of a shock to the system as a high school senior that may be coming from, Podunk, wherever, that they haven't played in that type of atmosphere.
Yep, and that's someone. I mean, obviously, the conversation was with Walker Jones of Grove Collective. We kind of having this conversation with him, which we will have him on the show
for sure.
At some point. But yeah, his point was, hey, Lane is built for this portal that this is made for him because he's got an NFL mindset. He looks at it like on the board. Hey, I need a DB. I need a free safety. I need all this different stuff. And he looks at it from that side. So this is great for Lane. So we're heading in the right direction, right? And we are going. We are doing a lot for what we have right now. And, I think, that was crazy. I'm looking on the field. Alabama looks like an NFL team like always. 5 stars everywhere. And we look better than them. We look like a better team.
Competed them
until we got down to the end or in our youth show. But this will be interesting that over the next couple of years, what's going to happen with Alabama and some of these others.
I think next week is going to be very interesting because that coming off the bye, they put everything that they had into this game emotionally, preparation. It's going to be real easy to phone it in against Arkansas because they don't match up great, at least the way I would have thought before yesterday with the way our run defense played. It's going to be interesting to see how that game plays out, see how Lane's able to keep the head focused on going forward instead of being down on yourself and sulking.
Yeah, I still think though, if you it sucks we're not going to go to the championship this year, but there's still a lot to play for this
Absolutely.
team, right? Hey, let's. What can you learn from a loss, right? Hey, we lost it, but can we finish with pride? Can we show it? Can we show a lot of fight here at the end? Can we still have a good season?
Sure.
Right? 10-2 would still match the best season in Ole Miss history. Can we actually go to a big time bowl and win it now, right? Because this is all growth. This is all growth. This is all growth for our team, and our young guys need to see how to fight after a loss, and this will be good.
Yeah. So Brad and Chad Show brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans. Also brought to you by Jeff Griffin, Stevenson Griffin Group, right? At Baird Private Wealth Management. You can go to the group's website, StevensonGriffinGroup.BairdWealth.com, or give them a call, 662-841-1900. Jeff Griffin with Stevenson Griffin Group. It was a heart-wrenching loss, but hopefully they will be able to pick it up against Arkansas next week. It'll be a night game in Fayetteville. Thankfully, it's not at 11 a.m. Usually we don't play very well in those situations. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there for sure.
Yeah,
So,
no question, man.
So we'll have a good midweek show to preview that. Basketball, they had another win. Both the men and the women, they both won this past week. The men beat Florida Atlantic. Now they've got Chattanooga coming up on Tennessee on Tuesday here at the Pavilion, so that should be pretty good. You got the ladies playing Little Rock today, so hopefully they can go 3-0. Coach O's got them going as well. So basketball is off and running. We've got some good things going on campus, but hopefully the football team's going to be able to pick it up against Arkansas and state to round out the regular season.
Yep, still a lot to play for here as far as salvaging a good season. Obviously, nobody's satisfied with this. But let's still continue. We had 2 winnable games, right?
Right.
Let's go up to Arkansas, take care of business, come back home at State. Let's win the Egg Bowl, go to a good bowl game. And I still think, and going into this year, I said this, the expectation, I didn't think we would compete this early. When we got there, we obviously were right there in the mix of things, which made it a little bit more, probably get a little ahead of ourselves. But my thought is still, we're still on track to be where we need to be. Mm-hmm. I said, looking at this roster, 2023 and 24 is going to be special in Oxford. Mm-hmm. Could have been special this year, which would have been unbelievable. We didn't know Judkins was going to be a damn near Heisman type guy.
Right.
He set the record yesterday.
15 touchdowns.
15 touchdowns for most by an NFL. Most by an Ole Miss running back. We're still on schedule, right?
Yep.
So let's stay on schedule. 10-2. If you had told me 10-2 for the season, after we lost all these people, it would have been like, dang, that's going to be a great season. Yep. I'm still thinking 2023 for this team.
It's crazy how hungry we still are, knowing that we could be even better than we are right now. That is incredible to where that's where the program is right now.
Yep. So let's enjoy the rest of the season. We'll cheer them on. But I'm going to tell you right now, next year I'm expecting us to compete. Yeah. Alabama should lose Bryce Young. LSU's still going to be damn good. That's probably going to be Ole Miss LSU next year if I had to guess, assuming we keep all these people in place and we add a few pieces as well. But next year's going to be special for the Rebs. Yeah. It's going to be Ole Miss LSU next year, battling for the West, in my opinion. So we're still on track. My points, we're still on track. So we woke up today. Our program's in a great spot. We're still on track. There's nothing to hang your hat about. We lost Alabama. It sucks. Whatever. They have a million. They have a million 5-stars. Whatever. They're at a whole nother level than us, but. We're close, man. We're this close to being an elite team. We're this close to being a really good team. I'm telling you, next year I expect to win the West. I think Rebel fans should expect to win as well, based off.
That should be the standard.
Based off what we've done this year, the standard next year should be win the West.
Yep. And we'll see what happens. Like, there's still plenty to play for the rest of the season. Bowl game, 2 more regular season games. We'll see how that goes. We'll have our midweek preview coming up in a few days for the Arkansas game, right? So yeah. It's been a hell of a weekend here. It's been wild, cold, but it's been a good time, man. I appreciate the hospitality that I've met, all the great people that I've met. We've met some of our fans, which was it was really cool to talk to everybody. So
it was cool to see Chad coming. Obviously Chad doing the show now. He's some people know who he is. So we're in the Grove, and they actually get to meet Chad, and he was asked us all the way from California to come to Alabama games. Yep. So it's kind of funny, man. It was a cool day, cool experience. Me and Chad had a hell of a time at the game. We elected to sit right in the middle of the stands.
Yep.
That's how I am. I explained to Chad, I said, listen, dude, I don't watch football games in people's living rooms. Okay. Like I like to be in the stands. I like to get up and hit a few Ric Flairs as Chad sees. I like to flex until I pop a blood vessel in my head. I like analyzing the game, and man, that was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun. Man, some of those big defensive plays. I think Chad would agree. There's nothing better than a big defensive stop. Like that is a pretty good flex. So, it's going to be an interesting few weeks.
It is. The elephant in the room still with the Auburn job. We'll see what happens there. There's still some storylines there. I don't think Lane's dead.
What do you think? Do you think this makes it?
I think
a little bit.
I don't think it has much of an impact. I just think that. I think Lane sees what he has here. I don't see him going anywhere else other than the pros, or if Saban were to retire. I think the Alabama job is one that anybody would take, and you can't blame him for that. Yeah. With the disarray that Auburn is in right now, I don't think that that's the best fit for him. I think that he is an Ole Miss guy until the A+ jobs come out there or the NFL comes calling.
Yeah, I agree, man. Hopefully we'll put that to bed. Maybe keep Cardinal. We'll get them.
Dole out some money. Maybe that Grove Collective can keep increasing those funds a little bit to make sure that Lane stays enticed.
Let me tell you something, man. The Grove Collective will have their hands full at the end of this season. You got Judkins. There'll be some. That's one of the other sides of the argument is, hey, when you have a good team and you're winning,
it's going to cost more money now.
It's going to cost more money. So if anybody that can do their part out there, sign up for the Grove Collective.
Absolutely.
Me and Chad are totally behind it. We definitely agree with the whole. We need it. It's a necessary evil now, and we got to compete. And I feel like if you want to keep Lane, the moment the NIL thing starts, as soon as we're not competitive in that,
it's over.
It's over.
Yeah,
it's over. As long as Ole Miss can stay competitive, NIL lane will never leave.
It's an arms race, right? It is an arms race, and you have to keep up with the Joneses. And that's what the Grove Collective is meant to do. It is meant to fund NIL deals for all athletics, not just football, but it is meant to make sure that players want to stay in Oxford. And that's something that we have to support, or else you're not going to have the program that we think we should have.
Yep, agree there. So if you got a chance, if you can do it, do it. So,
one thing that I did mention to our friend Nick, all these jeans that you see, half of them are probably going to be gone. I'm just going to pilfer a few of these and take them back with me to California.
You think I could fit in any of these?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't know. You fit very well in the ones that you wear anyway. So, big thanks to Nick for letting us hang out here in the Blue Delta studio. Once again, Brad and Chad Show brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans, Nest and Wild mattresses. I actually had the luxury of sleeping on a Nest and Wild mattress while I was at Nick's house. Could not recommend it more. Backed by a 99-night guarantee. NestandWild.com. You can also find them on Amazon. Nest and Wild mattresses. So thank you to Jeff Griffin, Nest and Wild, Blue Delta for helping us out and for helping make this weekend pretty special, man. So unfortunately we didn't get the win, but a hell of a time, Bradley. Man, I enjoyed it. And hotty toddy, my man.
Hotty toddy.
Thanks for listening to the Brad and Chad Show. Follow the boys on social media for more content. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. This has been an OM Network production, brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans, made in the USA.